Hello everybody, welcome to Poor Boy A Long Ways From Home, a lovely little blues tune, and this is an arrangement by John Fahey in D-A-D F-sharp A-D, otherwise known as open D tuning. And I love this little tune, mainly because it's got these great little bends, get real bluesy, beautiful sound out of it, and then you got these lovely little hammer-ons as well, which are just great fun. And it's a relatively simple tune to learn. It's a blues form, essentially 16-bar blues form. And what does that mean? And essentially it's made out of 3 chords. It's got D, it's all open strings, very handy. And then we've got our 4 chord, which is G major. So we can put our second finger on a 2nd fret A string, that's the note B. And then it's an open D. First finger on the 1st fret F sharp string, that's G. 3rd finger on the 2nd fret A string, that's the note B, and then an open D. So we got B, D, G, B, D, and all 3 notes basically make up a G major chord. And in the terms of something in the key of D, this would act as our 4 chord, meaning that it's the 4th degree of a D major chord scale. Yeah? D being the 1, D, E, F sharp, G, 4. And then we can move quite quickly to our 5 chord by moving the 2nd finger down a set of strings to the D string, 2nd fret, that's the note E. And then the 1st finger stays where it is, 3rd finger goes down to the 2nd fret of the D string, that's the note E. And that way you've got an open A, an E, a G, an A, and an E. And that essentially spells out an A7 chord. There's no C sharp in it, which might be problematic, but it is implying an A7 because we've got the G natural. If you think of an A major scale, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, the G sharp would be the major 7. Flatten the major 7, the G sharp, to a G, that would make a dominant 7. So it's an A7 chord. Yeah. So essentially we've got our 3 chords, D, G major, and A7. And then these are chords 1, 4, and 5. So one way to think about it is just to play along. So we can kind of like just sing the melody. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bow, 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 down, bow, da-ga-do-ga. Bow, 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 ba-down, bow, ba-da-do-ga. And then we go to our 4 chord. Ba-dow, bow. Ba-da-ba, ba-da, bow, and then our 1 chord, bow, ba-da-dow, da-ga-do-ga. We can go to our 5, ba-da-bow, and then to our 4, ba-da-ba, ba-dee, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. And that's just really kind of like, just so we know where the harmonic language of the tune and the song is going. So let's look at these riffs. Essentially, there's just little licks that make up this song, this tune. Yeah? And the first one is this. So, what's going on there? Essentially, the 2nd finger is on the 8th fret, that's the note F, and the 1st finger is on the 7th fret of the D string, that's the note A, right? So you get this lovely minor sound, right? And then what we're going to move that F sharp to a F natural to an F sharp rather. So we get a major, minor, major. And that's essentially all that's going on, and then all we're doing is just playing around with that. So in the bass we're going D, 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 D. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And this little bend happens on the and of 1. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. So I'm just catching that with my middle finger on the A, and I've got my ring finger on the D string. Yeah, so we're going 1, and 2, and 3, 4. Once you're up there, you kind of keep your 2nd finger bended at the top, and then you let go of your 1st finger so you can have an open D. So you're getting 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. And then you just basically do exactly the same thing, but quicker. So we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then you're home to just open D. So this little rhythm is 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. So that's on the A string, A, D. A, D. Yeah. So the entire time you're just pounding away 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the crux of the tune really, is just being really solid in the bass, so you're able to play around with these bends. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And that's essentially it. Just trying to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The second time you do it, because there's 8 bars of it and that was 4 bars, all you're doing is moving that open D to this lovely little B, right? So we're going 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So that's how we're getting that lovely little clash there, and that sort of -6 sort of thing. And then we're releasing the exact same way. And this time there's a connecting sort of walking bass, I guess. So your bass is going 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're doing the octave D, then we're going to the A string, and then the first fret of the A string. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the and of 2, you're just playing an open A. 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. Sounds very sort of scary when you play it like that, doesn't it? So that's the full 8 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4. That's essentially theme 1, yeah, or theme A, the A theme, right? The next one is over our 4 chord. So we've got our chord held down. And what we're going to do is hammer on that 3rd finger. So the 3rd finger starts off without being on the string, and then we're going to hammer that 3rd finger on. It sounds like this. Yeah? So the bass line is now going B, D, B, D, B, D, B, D. And then we're hammering on the and of 1 again. So we're going 1 and playing that open A string and hammering on. So we land on beat 2. 1, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. And then in the second bar of that G, because remember we've done 2 bars of G, we are basically hammering on twice. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So just basically repeating the idea faster, like we did with the bend, yeah? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So they're putting the 2 together. 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then we're going back to D. 1, 2, 3, 4. The bass line's just exactly the same as it was before. And this time we're going to play our same riff, this little hammer on, onto that B, but now with D in the bass. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. 1, 2, 3 and 4 This time the connecting part is essentially going down. So we're going to try to get to A, and one way to do that is go down the scale. So we go D, D, C sharp, B. Yeah. So that's just going down the scale, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's all on the A string. That's C sharp, and then the B. I'm using my third and my first finger for that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So those 4 bars from G. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is the turnaround essentially, where we're now going from the A7 to the G major to the D. Yeah. So for the A7, we're going to do the same sort of line really. We're hammering on the and of 1. In the bass line we've got this. We're going A, E, A, F sharp. So we've got to take our first finger off. So we have it on first of all. A, E, A, F sharp. So that's what's going on in the bass. And on the and of 1, we're going from an F sharp and we're hammering onto that first finger. So it sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Oh, I didn't do the right note then. 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Then you're going to do the same thing essentially, but with an A chord. Oh, sorry, that was the A chord. A G chord. So the second finger goes up. So the second finger goes up to this the G chord. First finger goes to that first fret G string, F sharp string. And we're hammering onto the third finger. So we're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Again, just like we did when we did the G's before, the bass line is just going B, D, B, D. Yeah. And then we're back to this D chord on beat 1 this time. Finally we hear something on beat 1. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. So this is all mainly nothing, open strings. We're just hammering on. So we're going beat 1 on the open D. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 hammer. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. That's essentially it. So let's do those 4 bars, the turnaround. Yeah. So we're going from the A7 to the G to the D. 1, 2, 3, 4. To the G. D. And again, so the A to the G, D. One last time, so the A, G, D. Okay, so let's go from the top. So we're going to do the whole thing twice. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Okay, so now let's go from the very top and we'll go through the whole thing twice. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So you bend up, 1, 2, and bend that down. You repeat that, and this time third finger, and then let go. To this G chord, on, and then the moving bass line down to the A chord, to the G chord, to the D. To the top. G, down the scale to the A chord, to the G chord, and there we have it. That's the essentially that's the first half of it. There's 2 sections to this tune. And we'll look at the second section in another video. But thank you very much for watching. Cheers, guys.